Okay, so this is going to be about a 10-minute video on how to care for a tropical planted aquarium. I know I made a goldfish care video, but just, it talks about the basic stuff. That's basically just the whole thing. I'm not going to make a part 2 of that. But I want to talk about the chemicals to use to keep your aquarium nice and clean like this one, the tools you're going to need to keep it nice and clean, different fish you can use to keep the aquarium clean, and how to care for your plants, and what foods are good and stuff like that. So let's get started. I'm going to talk about the chemicals here. Let me just get these things out here. Okay, so let me get out everything you're going to need here. Give me just a second. Okay, so these are the things, one more. These are the things you're going to need to keep your aquarium clean, the chemicals, and to keep the fish safe as well. A really good thing to have is aquarium salt. Adds electrolytes and improves gill function, stuff like that. It's really healthy for your fish. I use this for cloudy water. AccuClear. I don't even know if they sell it anymore. It's only like $6 a container. And I use that for cloudy water. I use this for make the tap water safe. It's start right with Alatin. Actually, this is a different one. This is a different one than the other one. So start right with Alatin, and I use Stress Coat. I just started using this. I actually use it for my African dwarf frogs, but I also use it for my aquarium as well. Those are the chemicals that you're gonna need. There's different brands of stuff that you can use. These are just the brands that I use. They have Stress Coat, Amquil, just everything like that. There's so many different brands you can pick from. And of course you're gonna need your fish food. Like I said, this is a tropical aquarium, so you're gonna need some tropical flakes. I use Tetra Min. It's a really common fish food. I think the two major brands are Tetra Min and Wardley. Wardley makes goldfish flake food and tropical flakes as well. And that's pretty much what you need. Also, if you've got sick fish and you want to put them in a different container, or if you just want to add this into your aquarium, you can use iodized salt or non-iodized. Non-iodized is better. Just don't use as much if you use iodized salt. And also, if you have, depending on what fish you have, I have a couple different algae-eating fish in here, so I feed them algae wafers. It's only like $6 for a little bag, or actually, sorry, $5. And then for my frogs, I use, amphibian pellets or something, whatever they're called. I'm going to start feeding them bloodworms though. And that's pretty much the chemicals you're going to need to care for your aquarium to make sure that the water stays safe. Like I said, there's a lot of other brands that you can use. So feel free to get a different brand than I have. This is just showing the general idea of caring for a tropical aquarium. And let's see, the tools you're going to need to keep your aquarium clean, or just overall tools. You're going to need a net. This is a perfect size one. It's not too small, not too big. It can pretty much reach into the bottom of the tank with my hand just a little bit in the water. Perfect size. You can get two different sizes if you want, one big, one small, depending on how many ornaments and decorations you have in your tank. Another thing you're going to need to keep your aquarium clean if you don't have algae-eating fish is one of these algae scrubbing brushes. These are only a couple bucks at Walmart, and it really helps. I use it to scrub this over here and stuff where the plants are. I also have algae-eating fish. And then something that's really important that I actually have known people that have just used cups to do this, but you can use a gravel vac. And it's like an auto siphon. You just put it in, siphon it through, and it automatically pours the water out. It's really good for your aquarium to drain the water out. You want to do anywhere from a weekly to 2 week water change, 25% or 1/3, depending on how much water you want to remove from your tank. And those are pretty much the tools you're going to need You can use a sponge and stuff, but only if you have aquarium safe gloves, because you want to try and make sure you don't get hand oils in the aquarium and stuff like that. So that's pretty much the tools and chemicals you're going to need in your fish food and stuff. Now let's talk about the fertilizers and stuff for your plants. One thing, the key thing for your plant growth is the lighting. You're going to need the right amount of lighting. I have just the perfect amount of lighting in this tank. It's a plant growth bulb, 24-inch, so it's perfect lighting for this. I'd like to get more, but this is all I could afford. The key thing is lighting. Another thing that's good to have is CO2. I've got a homemade CO2 system. It's a 2-liter bottle with a valve to control the output and a check valve, and then it feeds into this pump, and you can see it pumping out CO2, and it puts it out through the tank. It's a really good thing to have. You don't need it, but it helps your plants out a lot. And then something else that's good to have is liquid fertilizer. There's two different fertilizers I'm going to talk about. The liquid stuff is good for those plants that like to take in fertilizers through their leaves. This is really good stuff. Then, if you have plants that like to take it into roots, they have these things, which I just started using a couple weeks ago, or probably like a week ago. These plant grow sticks, you put them at the bottom, near the roots, in the gravel, in the plants that you want to grow really well, or the plants that need some fertilization. It's a really good thing to have. Now, that's all you're going to need to care for your plants. The liquid fertilizer, you can put in there, like I put it in I put in a capful in once every week, or 2 weeks, and it helps. They mostly like to take in the nutrients through the roots, so that's why I have those plants. I have 3 plant sticks in there, one on this side, one on this side, and one in the back, and you replace those once a year. So if you use 3 of them in your tank, you replace it twice a year because it comes with 6. So those are the key things you're going to need. Then let's talk about accessories you can get for your actually, we'll talk about your filtering system. You need a good filtering system. This is key. You preferably want to get one that's larger than the tank requires. Like I have a 30-gallon tank and I have a 30-gallon filter, and I'd like to upgrade because I've actually improved the filter with the foam on the end. You can look in another video and I talk about that. It just improves the filtering and collects the larger chunks there. You can always change your filter system around. Let me just take this off. I got this filter system for free, and it didn't come with a piece of foam, like biofiber foam stuff, so I added in this one. I also have extra chemical filtration. I take this film canister, fill it with activated carbon, poke a hole in the bottom, and place it in the filtering system. I also have extra biological filtration in there as well. And having a good filtering system is a key thing that you're going to have. And also, another thing you want to have in your tank is, you don't need one for a 10-gallon tank, but any tank larger than that, you want some aeration. I've got a wall of bubbles there to aerate the tank, and I also have a pump right here on the side that gives it some surface agitation. You can see there's plenty of surface agitation across the water. I'm going to try and minimize this a little bit because the CO2 escapes easier with surface agitation in the water. And you definitely want an air pump for a tank larger than a 10-gallon tank. Some other accessories you can get, little things I use. You can get things like these little adapters that go from standard airline to mini airline. And like another tool I use to clean my tank is a toothbrush. I use it to clean like the edge here of the tank, right in the corners. And there's so many other things you can get. I recommend one thing that you want to get for your aquarium is care guides on different things. I've got 3 different care guides. Actually, I have 4, but 3 of them are actually care guides. I've got a lighting guide, aquatic lighting guide. I've got a plant growth guide, and I have a basic aquarium guide. You can usually pick these up at the store for free. You can usually pick them up at the store for free. Now, with your filter cartridges, I only have a couple seconds left for battery. You want to replace this cartridge every 2 weeks. That is key to keeping your aquarium clean, because the activated carbon in the filter cartridge will run out. So that's pretty much it for your tropical aquarium care. Alright, bye.